Hello, good evening, and welcome back. A brand new week, a brand new Monday, and quick update. The weekend didn't go as I expected. I think the last thing I told on Friday was that I'll spend some time doing coding, but I couldn't spend even like a minute doing that. I think I probably didn't even switch on my system. So it was quite a hectic weekend, especially on Saturday. We'd gone out to settle down some of the things for tomorrow, which is my daughter's birthday. But after that, we went to a restaurant. We came back, did a little bit of shopping, and came back. So I was tired. And yesterday it was mainly spent doing some stuff at home. So I could hardly get any dedicated stretch of about 3 4 hours, which is typically the case when I go for any of these coding related work or study related things. I usually sit by around say like 11 o'clock or something like that and go in a stretch till about 3 o'clock 4 o'clock in the evening, take a break and then continue. But I couldn't get that time over this weekend. I don't know. I couldn't probably plan it properly. Anyway, back to the point. One very interesting video that I saw on Saturday, and something else which I saw today, which kind of is interlinked, but more emphasis on what I saw on Saturday. Now, this video is by a pretty well-known photographer called Sean Tucker. He's from UK, and he's primarily, I mean, I don't know. That's a key thing here. So he's primarily known for his very unique way of photographing street life. I mean, I don't know if I should really call him as a street photographer, but he has some amazing landscape work. Uh, his portraiture work is very good. He's good in most of the things that he does, be it portraiture, be it landscape, be it street photography, be it teaching things on YouTube. He's very good at it. He had made a video, I think a month or two back, and a friend of mine retweeted it again on Saturday, and I saw it. And the very first time I saw during the lockdown period, if I'm right, it didn't kind of struck me too much. But on Saturday, when I was listening to that audio portion, I kind of felt like some very interesting point there. So the video is about label makers and gatekeepers. So this is all about how you label yourself. That's why I was a bit reluctant on calling Sean as a street photographer or whatever. Now, going back about I think so about 2 to 3 weeks back, when I was working on my website, I was just trying to revamp and trying to make it a little bit more simple. At that point of time, I had to write my about section, and I actually refer to my media kit kind of a thing that I have, which I usually send out when I'm sending out a pitch. So I just brought it out and I just trying to edit it. I very explicitly, like most often, I'll tell you, most often I call out myself as a travel and nature photographer and documentary filmmaker. Why nature photographer and why not wildlife photographer? Why not landscape photographer? I like and shoot everything when it comes to nature. So, be it landscape, be it macro, be it creative nature stuff, wildlife, which is how I started off. And now, why travel? Because travel encompasses quite a lot of things, like things related to architecture, things related to people, things related to street when I'm traveling. So it's a kind of broad. I don't want to call myself as a travel portrait specialist or a landscape specialist, but I just follow it up with one more line telling that I specialize in landscape and architecture, which is one from each of them. But I like to call myself as a travel and nature photographer and a filmmaker. But what happens is the very moment you try to deviate towards some other genre, and when you try to mingle around with a group of a certain genre, they see your label and they try to compare it with their label and they try to push you out of that boundary. Okay, a very typical thing is like you try to do some wedding photography, then immediately they say, oh, you're a wildlife photographer, why are you even doing wedding photography? Or it might be something like fashion portraiture. They say like, oh my god, you're from travel photography background, why are you doing fashion stuff, like you don't have any work there. Even things related to say filmmaking, like somebody who's very keen on wildlife filmmaking. If somebody does anything outside of wildlife, they're like, oh, how come you're doing non-wildlife stuff? Like they put a label around you. They say that you are that one. But personally, I'll tell you, Sean has his own way of telling like why he likes photography as such, and it's nothing to do with a particular genre like street photography or portrait or anything. And that's what is with me as well. When I started off photography, when I actually started off photography, I shot random stuff which made me happy. Then on for I think almost 2 years, it was travel photography, traveling and photographing places that made me happy. And then for quite a long time, even till this date, it's wildlife photography which I did. While doing wildlife, I travel to places, I shoot landscape. That keeps me happy. And now I'm traveling to other places, I do travel stuff there as well. So for me, again, just like what Sean says, like I like photography. I'm not telling I like only landscape photography or I like only wildlife photography. I like to do what makes me happy, and that is photography and filmmaking. And doing videos like this, doing videos with my bike, doing videos about teaching something about photography or filmmaking through the creative zest. So the very moment somebody tries to put a tag on you, right? That's when you get carried away and you try to lose that attention and things go haywire. Okay, this happens even with the gear. I'm not telling no, but somebody says they want to do wildlife photography. They probably bring in like a smaller lens or something to a safari. They get seen like as if, why are they even here? Why are they even in a safari with some kit lens or some 50 to 50 kind of a lens? There is no hard and fast rule that you need to always carry a 500 or a 600 to be called as a wildlife photographer. There are some people who have done fantastic work with just something like a 70-200 lens. Some people do fantastic work with medium format camera which is nowhere related to wildlife photography. So why do we have to put all these labels, okay, that to be called as a wildlife photographer you have to have this particular lens, or you do only this kind of photography, so you are a street photographer, you are a fashion photographer. I think that's what kind of linked for a particular person and how people judge them. And again, these people who judge us, okay, the outsiders or people from the other genre, they end up becoming gatekeepers. Okay, so when I say gatekeepers, they're like, okay, they just don't allow you to enter into their genre. They just don't allow you to enter into the whole space at all. So they downplay you so much, and they just use words in such a way that you will feel guilty about, should I really go into this particular genre or what? For 2 long years, I did event photography, and I was recognized in my area as a purest wildlife photographer or a landscape photographer. When I was in my peak of my time doing my landscape photography, I also did event photography, and people recognized me there. Nobody came and told me that, okay, you're a wildlife photographer, you're not supposed to do event photography, or other way around. Nobody came and told me you go and shoot events in the weekend, so don't do wildlife photography. Then why all this labeling and all those stuff? Why do we have to get into calling ourselves with a specified name that I am a EDM photographer, I am a landscape photographer? I got more probably influenced or convinced that going forward, you think I should drop that, even the generic label that I tend to use, or I've been using since last probably I would say like 5-6 years, which is travel and nature photographer. I just want to call myself as a photographer and a filmmaker. I love making videos, I love taking photographs, and I'm happy doing that. So that's something which kept on I kept on thinking over the last 2 to 3 days. Now today I saw one video. It's about a couple who stay in, I think, Manali. They make some review videos and mostly travel content in Manali and in that region. And they did a Q&A video, and somebody asked like, how do you get into filmmaking? How do you start doing videos? How do you start getting into films, the actual commercial films? So the couple, both of them answered, you should start going into film school. Apparently the wife was of a film school pass out, and this guy is a self-learned filmmaker, but they kept on emphasizing that you have to go to film school. Now what happens if when you go to film school is that you are fed with some information and you have been told that that is right. If you don't do that, then it is wrong. That kind of point, you learn a lot of things, I'm not telling no, but what I've observed, I'm not a person from film school background, but I've seen that anybody who comes out of film school has some kind of like a narrow mindset which prevents them from seeing a broader vision. And most of the people who are doing some good things, some experimental things, are the people who are not from the film background, film school background, to be very precise. So again, like when you start venturing into films, they like ask you, okay, you're from film school, okay, you go in this path. You're not from film school, you go in this path. You're not even recognized. So all this labeling thing that, okay, I am from film school, I am from that particular film school, I've worked under this particular person, always carrying this tags along with it, that I've been an assistant for some person, I've been working under this particular banner. End of the day, I think I would probably repeat it again. You should be recognized as somebody is like a good photographer or a good filmmaker, not something like you are a good photographer just because you belong to a particular banner or worked under someone. So these are two kind of related things which kind of get me thinking and all those stuff during the day today and probably even the weekend. I'll probably end up making a slightly more detailed video to put it on the Creative Zest. I'll try to be a little bit more expressive about this and put in some more data points around this. I know I spoke a lot about it here itself, but I think I'll do it. During this week I'll do it. Um, I think that's pretty much it. I'm off tomorrow. It's my kid's birthday tomorrow. It's a second year birthday, so I'm off tomorrow. We have started doing the decoration and things. So I'm very excited about it. We are looking forward to tomorrow evening. It's just a family stuff tomorrow. It's only 6 of us. Just cut the cake, celebrate, have some good food, and enjoy. That's it. So I'm not really sure what time I'll do the video tomorrow. Probably it'll be late or something, but I'll definitely do it. I don't want to break the chain and stop doing this vlog. I've been doing this continuously for almost like 26 days now. So I'll continue it, but probably tomorrow it'll be a little bit late because I have to wind up everything and then do the vlog. But I'll definitely be back. I'll tell you how the birthday celebration went and probably something new from tomorrow. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.